Hello class. Today my presentation will be on analyzing Act 1 Scene 5 from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. I will be analyzing the scene and going over quotes that show characterization, theme, and glossary terms. To summarize what happens in the scene, Romeo goes out into the dance hosted by Capulet, where he sees Juliet dancing and falls in love with her. He later brings her away from the dance floor where they start flirting and kiss each other. This is important because the initial incident occurs. They fall in love in this scene, but to their demise, find out that Romeo is a Montague and Juliet a Capulet, which is where the play starts to get really interesting and progress more. Without further ado, let's get into Act 1, Scene 5 of Romeo and Juliet. In Act 1, Scene 5, Romeo sees Juliet for the first time and falls in love with her. He asks around who she was and describes his love for her. "Oh, she doth teach as a tortoise to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night." During this time, Juliet falls in love with Romeo as well. "My only love sprung from my only hate." The theme of this scene is, you can find love everywhere, even in your enemies. They fell in love with each other at first sight. Although Romeo is a Montague and Juliet a Capulet, they still loved each other. This is important because without knowing the theme, the scene would not be as compelling. You would lose interest in the play and it would not be as good. It's good to understand the theme so you can understand the author's message that he's trying to convey through the play. In this case, Shakespeare is trying to say that love can be found anywhere, even in your enemies. After falling in love, Romeo grabs Juliet from the dance floor and takes her away from everything, where they both start flirting. "Then move not, while my prayer takes effect," kisses her. "Thus from my lips by yours, my sin is purged." This quote tells us that Romeo has kissed Juliet. A word that can characterize Romeo is bold. He shows the ability to take risks, is confident, and courageous. You can tell by the fact that he's courageous enough to make a risk and go for a kiss with ease. He was also confident enough to flirt with her the way he was. The quote shows one line of Romeo flirting with Juliet. He displays much more confidence by going in for a second kiss. "Sin from thy lips? O trespass sweetly urged, give me thy sin again." It is important to know that Romeo is bold so it can help you predict future outcomes and choices that he makes further in the play. You can connect to Romeo more by knowing more about him, and it'll make you more inclined to the play. After Romeo exits the ball, Juliet asks the nurse for his name and says this: "Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed." This is an example of foreshadowing. Shakespeare is foreshadowing the possibility of Juliet's death. This is important because Juliet dying in the play is a big plot twist and occurrence that keeps us at the edge of our seats. "If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready to stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss." This is an example of religious imagery. Romeo is saying that in this scene, Juliet is a pilgrim and that he is unworthy of her. A way of interpreting this is that a kiss between them would complete a sacred journey for them both. This is important because we learn that Romeo has found the love that he was looking for oh so long. Once they kiss, his journey for love will be complete and so will hers. It shows the purity of Romeo and Juliet's love by incorporating a pure feeling such as religion with it. Thank you for listening to my presentation on analyzing Romeo and Juliet Act 1 Scene 5 by William Shakespeare. As you can see, this is one of the most crucial moments in the play. Romeo and Juliet, the two protagonists from the play, finally meet and fall in love. New conflicts are introduced, such as Romeo being a Montague and Juliet being a Capulet. We learned that the theme of this scene is that love can be found anywhere, even in your enemies. We learned about Romeo's boldness and the foreshadowing of Juliet's death. Thank you for listening.